Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Well, I want to welcome you all here today. Today's a really big day for us. We get to welcome you to our new global headquarters, based right here in Portland, Maine. So this is a really important milestone for us, and I think about the last 20 plus years. It's been a pretty remarkable ride, and people often ask me what it's like to work at WEX, and I always start with intense. It's a very intense place. You don't grow like we grow without a certain level of intensity. Yet it's balanced with this sense of purpose. People get a great deal of satisfaction because you feel like you're part of something bigger than yourself. You're growing a legacy, and you're able to do it in a way that's really true to who you are. And it's part of what I like about this company. It's one of our highest survey scores is around this concept of people being able to be themselves. And you'll see that as you meet all of, we call ourselves WEXers here today. And today, it's a good representation. If you think about the life cycle of this company, we lay roots. We sit in places for long periods of time. Even though we change a lot, there's certain parts of us that stay very consistent. And in the 20 years that I've worked here, I've actually only been in 2 locations. And so this is a wonderful place for us to be. And I think when I think about the location, every time we've moved into a new headquarters, it gives you a visual representation of where we are in our life cycle. And this building today is so true for that. It is collaborative, it is open, it is light, it is full of innovation, it is full of tech, and it is full of heart. And you will feel all of that today if you walk around, and even more so when you fill it up with the 4,700 WEXers that run across the world. And one of the things that I always think that is amazing as I travel around to all of our different locations, meet with customers and partners, we work with some of the biggest companies in the world. We compete against some of the biggest companies in the world, and we do it all based here in Portland, Maine. And I think that the roots that come from Maine are part of what creates the culture of the company. 89% of our employees this year chose to fill out our employee satisfaction survey, which ranked us again as a great place to work nationally, 2nd year in a row. And I think that just the idea that people care that much, or in that convinced that we listened, that we evolve, is part also of the culture and why we win business. So I want to thank you here today. And I say this building, it came about just very much in WEX fashion with great partners. And I want to thank a number of them for this today. We came up with the idea of what we wanted to do. We worked with people that made that idea not just real, but much better than what we had ever expected. And really excited to share that with you today. So first, I want to thank Jonathan Cohen, who is here with us today, our developer, with which this would not have happened. And Safa Kabaj, who is, can you raise your hand? Yeah, I know. You're tall enough, people can see you. So Safed is our VP globally of facilities, and we hired him when we first thought of this project, and he really brought it to fruition. So I want to say thank you to you, as well as Archetype, Chinbro, the Dunham Group, and SMRT. So I think of all of you came in with creativity, ideas, energy, and enthusiasm of getting this done in a very short period of time. I'd like to thank John Jennings, the city manager, all of the Portland City Council, Evan Adams of Pierce Atwood, and representing Senator King, Gail Keyser, and representing Congresswoman Pingree, Jesse Conley. And lastly, I want to thank the WEX board and the executive leadership team and all of the WEXers around the world that make this place a better place every day. And that's what we strive for. We're not going to get it perfect every day. We're going to make it better every day. And we're going to learn as we go, and we're going to do it together. So with that, I get the great privilege of introducing Senator Susan Collins. So it's my great honor to introduce you to our first speaker, Senator Susan Collins. First elected in 1996, Senator Collins is Maine's senior senator. She's earned a national reputation as an effective legislator who works across party lines to seek consensus on our nation's most important issues. For the past 5 consecutive years, Senator Collins has ranked as the most bipartisan member of the U.S. Senate by the Lagar Center and Georgetown University. I'm always personally impressed with the thought and care that Senator Collins devotes to each of her decisions and her commitment to work with all of the people of Maine. I'm honored that she was able to take time to be with us today, which she has done many times over the last decade plus. So thank you so much, and welcome, Senator Susan Collins.
Thank you, Melissa, and good morning. What a wonderful day. I'm so delighted that the governor is here to join us. You know, I kind of like the theme here. A woman governor, a woman senator, a woman head of WEX. And it's wonderful to join Melissa, who does such a great job. I'm so proud that she's a native of Maine also and has shown such leadership. And I had the pleasure of coming up on the plane last night with Mike and Denise Dubyak, and Mike has done so much for this great country as well. You know, a few years ago, I had the pleasure of joining Melissa and Mike in a panel discussion at an annual meeting. And one of the agenda items I'll never forget, because it was titled Wexcellence. In addition, I thought that was so clever. In addition to this beautiful new headquarters that is so spectacular here on the waterfront, that is what we are celebrating today. And I really should begin by noting that I am here on behalf of your biggest customer, the federal government. So for once, I'm from the government. I'm here to help you. You're here to help me. Maine is so fortunate to have a company like WEX here in our state. Your growth during the past 36 years from a startup business called Right Express with only a handful of employees to an international powerhouse designing payment solutions that serve millions of companies all over the world is truly cause for celebration. And Mike told me that actually the roots go back further than those 36 years, but I'm not going to preempt his speech after he educated me. You provide more than 800 Mainers with rewarding jobs, and best of all, you help our state's young people find rewarding careers right here at home. With your global reach and your expertise in fleet management, travel services, and now employee benefit systems, you send a very powerful message around the world about what the people of the great state of Maine can accomplish. And I'm really proud of this company. At the groundbreaking for this new headquarters about 1.5 years ago, the city manager calls it a really historic day. And today's ribbon cutting adds to that history and is a powerful reminder of what the public and private sectors can do when they work together with a vision guiding our future. When I spoke at that annual meeting and met with so many employees, I saw the secrets to this company's success. I saw enthusiasm, I saw innovation, and I saw a commitment to customer service that was second to none. To those qualities, I would add a few more that define the Maine business community: generosity, compassion, and community spirit. The support that WEX and its employees provide to charitable events and initiatives such as United Way, Try for a Cure, you can pay me later, Liz, Dream Flight, the Center for Grieving Children, and so many more, is truly making a difference. From junior achievement and the Mitchell Institute to the Portland Symphony, WEX's support for healthcare, education, and the arts is second to none. This new headquarters demonstrates that hard work, focus, and cooperation produces growth, opportunity, and an even stronger community. I congratulate Melissa, WEX employees, the city for this excellent accomplishment. And my only question is, do you have room for my office on the top floor? Thought I'd ask. Thank you.
We'd love to see you here more frequently. You can come here anytime. So I've had the good fortune to connect with Governor Mills in recent months and was struck by her enthusiasm and her energy. I'm really excited by the promise that her administration holds, and we're looking forward to working more closely with them. It was something that actually was the theme as we were going around this morning, collecting cards from a number of you that were here, and we really believe that we can do a lot more together, and so we're excited about that. And it seems fitting to have Governor Mills here on International Women's Day. In addition to being Maine's first Attorney General, she's now the Maine's first female governor, and I'm pleased to welcome her up on the stage here with me, and I'm very appreciative, again, of her time and that she's willing to be here right at the beginning of her term. So thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. I'm told that not only is the federal government a customer of WEX, but state government is too. Probably to a much lesser degree, but we're happy customers, as far as I know. I have no complaints to register today. In terms of state government relations, I want to make sure I introduce Heather Johnson over here. And if you don't collect anybody else's card, do you have cards yet? A brand new cabinet. Be sure and get the card, the business card of the new Commissioner of Department of Economic and Community Development. She's going to be a real fast starter here, and she's already kicking butt. And she knows a lot about broadband, by the way, and has a great history in the private and public sector. So we're delighted to have her here and introduce her to you. I'm pleased to be the governor because, for one reason, they don't get to call me General Mills anymore at the conferences I go to, and I was beginning to feel like a box of Wheaties. And it's a pleasure to be here on International Women's Day, the powerhouse here in the federal government and in the private sector. I'm so excited to be on the stage with these two powerful women and a couple guys. Hi, Mike. Gonna do more. And thank you for the introduction, Melissa. I'm honored to join all of you and Councilman Costa, about to speak, and along with the WEX board in celebrating this momentous occasion, and so many city and state officials. Well, I'm sure much will be said about the beautiful new building we're in, which is now WEX's global headquarters, a mark of pride for Portland and the greater Portland community, and an unquestionable boon to the local economy here. I also want to focus on how proud I am of WEX's initiatives to educate and hire young Mainers. This is a top priority of this administration, bringing people back to Maine, welcoming new people to Maine, encouraging young folks to come here and settle and raise their families and find good-paying jobs as they can right here at WEX. So you may have heard that that's a priority of our administration, because fewer than half of Maine adults hold a post-secondary credential right now. Fewer than half. That is either a college degree or any professional certification. Yet 2 out of 3 jobs in today's economy require some sort of credentials. This imbalance is why we have at the same time employers saying they can't find workers and workers saying that they're stuck in dead-end jobs. We've got to make those two come together. Education and training are key to solving this problem and helping Maine people achieve their full potential. That's why I was excited to hear about WEX's internship program, which educates people, trains students from both Maine and from away to excel in corporate technology and product development. Just last year, I read that over 3,800 applicants, people applied to the WEX internship program, 3,800. And of that very competitive pool, WEX hired 32 people from Maine and 18 people from out of state. And WEX continues to grow, announcing last fall a plan to hire another 175 people. These are good-paying jobs, skilled jobs, ready for Maine's qualified workers. I'm so excited about that. And this year, WEX also unveiled the WEX Junior Associate Program. It allows students from 8 Southern Maine middle and senior high schools to shadow WEX employees, which is an incredible chance to learn the ropes. Students can learn about the real opportunities in emerging fields and get a real foot in the door, literally, at a globally competitive company. I think that's so exciting. WEX has also expanded efforts to broaden interest among high school students in STEM fields, and it continues to partner with Maine colleges and universities, strengthening the readiness of our graduates for high-tech careers. As governor, I promise to do my part to ensure that state government supports the growth and success of employers like WEX and these public-private partnerships that they are forming, which also play a key role in addressing Maine's workforce shortage. Businesses like WEX that invest in their employees not only help attract new families to our state, but they also have a competitive advantage in our ever-changing economy. WEX is certainly a pivotal part of this community and of our state. Maine is proud that in your growth, you have not forgotten the importance of your employees, the importance of training, the importance of bringing people up within the company, the importance of our communities and of our state as a whole. The singer David Allan Coe once said, quote, "It's not the beauty of a building that you should look at. It's the construction of the foundation that will stand the test of time." I hope we look back on today as a celebration of that strong foundation that you are building on this company's investments in Maine workers, Maine students, Maine graduates, and Maine people with success that will withstand the test of time. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here and join such distinguished company as all of you. I look forward to the tour. Thank you.
I don't need any notes to introduce the next person. I've known him for a few years. And I was thinking about what I wanted to say about Mike Dubyak, who's the chair of our board, and someone that I have worked with for more than 20 years now. And there were 3 things that I wanted to highlight, and there's a number of stories, lots of things I could say. But the 3 things I would say about Mike is he has been a champion of growth. You know, this concept, whenever I get up anywhere in the world and I talk, the first thing I talk about is growth to our employees. Because when we grow, we create opportunity for ourselves and for others. And so it's a primary focus. And that started with Mike. And when he first started here, it was a startup. And when he stopped being CEO, it was a publicly traded company that was operating in multiple countries and at mid-cap size. And so he grew this business from something that was not making money into something that has become a lasting legacy for the rest of us. So growth is first. The second thing that I say with, and actually often I lead with this, Mike is a good man. And that's important in the world that we live in. A lot of our reward systems here are built off from not just what you do and how you do it. And he has always been someone who just demonstrates that day in and day out by doing the right thing. And he constantly does the right thing. And it's a trait that I have admired over the years of him because it's the pillar of the integrity that was built into this organization. And then the third thing I would say about Mike is I said earlier that one of the highest survey scores for us here is the sense that people can be themselves. So it doesn't matter gender, race, sexual orientation, any of those things that kind of fade in the background here. It's about being the best athlete. And you end up with a sense that people, while we share the same values and we share leadership behaviors, we actually come into this building with an ability to be authentic and be ourselves. And I feel like that comes in large part from Mike's leadership. And so I get the great honor of being able to introduce the chair of our board, Mike Dubyak.
Well, I'm not sure I should say anything after that. I could just say, nice to be here, beautiful building. You know, in my retirement, I don't get to wear the WEX kind of clothing, but I have my WEX shirt on today. Actually standing up here, it's 33 years in January that I've been involved with WEX. So I feel a little bit like a proud father. But Parker, I want to make sure I reserve for you being the proud grandfather. So this is a memorable day by far, but I want to take you back to 2002. So in 2002, we were doing the ribbon cutting for our South Portland office on Gorham Road, and Senator Collins spoke, and I spoke, but I had my boss from our parent company then speak. So fast forward to today, Senator Collins is still here, I'm still here. There is no parent company of WEX. And by the way, we had five owners over time. So it's wonderful to know that we're a Maine-based, independent, publicly traded company, now more than ever, anchored here in Maine. We made a commitment then, but this is a bigger commitment, and the board understands that as well. So this building, I think, symbolizes more than just being a building. It symbolizes, I think, the impact that it represents to so many people in so many ways, and I want to touch a little bit on that. It symbolizes the success and the achievements that have been attained over the years. It symbolizes, as I said, that we're anchored more than ever in Maine, now in Portland, on the waterfront. I think it symbolizes the Parker Pool, probably such great pride, and who knows what the emotions are flowing through him when 36 years ago he started then Right Express, and to see what he now can look at to say what's happened with Right Express, and this is a symbol of great success. I think it's a symbol for the community and our government leaders. I think government leaders from the national representatives to the state to the local, who I think realize and should be proud of what WEX brings to the state, and I think our two speakers, Senator Collins and Governor Mills, talked about that. And I think that what I like about WEX is we've always had a commitment to partner well, and we've partnered well with our associates and their families, so not just them, but we partner well with the communities they live in, and every day trying to do the best we can so they know that we're there trying to support them any way possible to make sure their communities are also strong and vibrant. So this is a symbolism that's very powerful for me in many ways. It does reflect on what we built, what we nurtured, what we developed, how we gained our independence after those 5 owners, and now watching Melissa and her team do wonderful things as we just keep growing in different parts of the world. I mean, we do business in over 200 countries across the globe. So I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize the pride I feel, but I'm sure the pride others feel as well, and the stakeholders that are represented in many ways. And so I don't want to just let that go without recognizing some of these people. I'll start with, I want to thank all former WEXers, and I mean people that retired from WEX, people that left WEX because of different reasons and different opportunities for their careers. But when I meet them in the community, they're proud that they were associated at one point with this great company, and that says a lot when even people that have left feel that way. But I especially want to thank the current WEXers. I mean, these are people that are every day putting their passion, their emotional investment into the success of WEX on a regular basis. So thank all of you. I want to thank the board of directors, Melissa said that, who have provided great care and stewardship since we went public in '05. Kirk Pond was going to be here, and I don't know if he called in sick, but Stella told us this morning for some reason he was not going to be here. But I just want to do a shout out to him. He was a founding board member in '05 when we went public. He is retiring. Next week is our March board meeting, and that'll be his last board meeting as he retires off the board. So I want to thank Kirk for all the great stewardship and all the great things he has done to make this symbol so important to all of us. I want to thank John Jennings, who I've known personally since he's been in town, Greg Mitchell, Justin Costa, who's going to speak in a second, and all the Portland people who made this possible down on the waterfront. Naturally, Jonathan Cohen, who Melissa recognized earlier, who not just helped make this building real, but worked with Melissa on a vision that fit WEX. I want to thank the Vigus. I don't know if Peter's here, or I think I might have seen, I don't know Andy, but I think Andy's here, and who really built the building that we're in today and feeling pretty good about. And whoever planned the sunny day, I'd like to thank them as well. And all of the people that support us. We have a lot of friends in the community who continually would say, this is a great company, why would I not want to support it? And I think that's great. A lot of you are in the audience today. I couldn't be prouder. Yes, this is a great building. It's beautiful. It's gleaming. It's a great place to work. It sits on the waterfront in one of the greatest cities in the country. And we all should be proud of that. If you take a step back, though, it's a remarkable story that we got to where we are after all the trials and tribulations we've been through. The building is truly a great symbol of what people's vision, grit, and passion can accomplish. As I said earlier, it really means so much for so many, so thank you. Now I get the honor to introduce a video. I think that's next, is that right? Okay. A video from Senator King, who could not be here. First, a little bio on our esteemed senator. Senator King was not able to be here in person today, but wanted very much to be part of this historic celebration and event. He was our keynote speaker at WEX's 30th anniversary in 2013. U.S. Senator Angus S. King is Maine's, I should say junior, is Maine's first independent senator in the United States Congress, a position he has held since 2013. He also served as the 72nd governor of Maine from 1995 to 2003. A strong believer in the need for greater bipartisan dialogue and relationship building, Senator King is proud to join the long line of thoughtful, independent leaders from the state of Maine. And he works hard every day to bring Republicans and Democrats together to find a common sense solution for Maine and for America. He is a proven consensus builder who, I quote, calls him like he sees him, putting civility and respect ahead of political ideology. I know he invites people to his house for barbecues where they can't even talk. These are other senators. They can't even talk about political subjects. He wants them to get to know each other so they find ways to work together because they have a better understanding of these people and who they are. He's been a friend of WEX and to me personally on various initiatives we or I have pursued within WEX and outside of WEX. So with that, Senator King has provided a video to help celebrate this momentous occasion.
Here's a phrase I really like: Global Corporate Headquarters, Portland, Maine. Congratulations to WEX for the new building. This is fantastic. It's going to be terrific right on the waterfront. And I remember when WEX was Wright Express. I mean, I go back quite some time with this company, and it's been fantastic to see it grow and expand, diversify, and what it's doing now for the Portland community is just terrific. I want to congratulate Melissa. I understand Mike Dubyak is there as well, and what you've done in terms of your leadership for bringing the company forward, bringing it to where it is now is nothing but inspirational. I'm sorry I can't be with you this morning. I'll certainly be by sometime before long because I really want to see the new building. And I just want to congratulate you and thank the people of WEX for the work that you do around the world, for the great credit that you bring upon Maine, and for what you do for not only the Portland area, but the entire state. Congratulations, best wishes on the new building. I look forward to seeing it. Have a great celebration.
So both Melissa and I have talked about the city of Portland, how they truly partnered with WEX to help secure this strategic location on the waterfront. I have the pleasure of introducing Justin Costa. Justin grew up in Brunswick. He's a graduate of Brunswick High School, attended Wesleyan University in Middletown, Connecticut, where he graduated in 2006. After graduating from Wesleyan, Justin returned to Maine. In 2008, he was first elected to the Portland School Board, where he served 2 3-year terms. In 2012, Justin graduated from the University of Maine Law School. In 2014, he was elected to the Portland City Council for the first time, and in 2017, he was re-elected for a second term. On the City Council, Councilor Costa has served multiple years on both the Finance and Economic Development Committees, and he is currently chairing the Economic Development Committee for the second consecutive year. As chair, Costa has worked to overhaul the city's tax incremental financing and overseen efforts to expand workforce development and job training initiatives, which are still ongoing. Help me welcome Justin Costa.
Let me begin by just saying thank you for inviting the city here. It's a tremendous honor to be able to join you all today, to join Senator Collins, the governor, everyone else here. I'll keep this brief, but I want to give a few thank yous to people in the city that have been instrumental in working with WEX. Probably first and foremost, our Economic Development Director, Greg Mitchell, who's right here, our Planning and Urban Development Director, Jeff Levine, who's trying to avoid making eye contact with me, and of course, City Manager John Jennings, who has been instrumental in working with a lot of the leadership team at WEX. I also want to thank my colleagues on the council, and I would be remiss if I didn't take the chance to thank former councilor and former mayor David Brennerman, who was a longtime chair of the Economic Development Committee and retired in 2017. This is an exciting day. Melissa, it's obviously a very exciting day for WEX, for the development of this company. It's an incredible milestone. I won't rehash a lot of the amazing things that you all do, not just internally, but also in terms of training, in terms of giving back to our community. This is a real milestone day. For us as policymakers, those of us in the room that fill that role, it's our job to look at things like this, milestone events for major Maine companies, in the context of the challenges that our communities are facing. And as the governor and senator alluded to, I don't think it's not a secret some of the challenges that our state is facing. We know what our demographics look like. We know that we have difficulties in recruiting and retaining young people to stay and work in the state. And the location of WEX here and your continuing expansion is very exciting because it helps us address those long-standing needs in our communities. I would also be remiss if I didn't mention that I think it is government's role and it is our job to proactively look at these issues. Whether you know it or not, the expansion that we're seeing here today and this building is actually through some creative financing structures, which I won't detail to you, but is actually going to save property taxpayers in the city of Portland some money. And it's also generating revenue that we are going to be using to fund job training and English language acquisition and a number of other things throughout Portland and the broader community that uses our adult education Portland adult education, and a whole variety of other things. I believe quite strongly that in these divided times, it is important for us to emphasize the ways in which our futures are really bound together, and to emphasize the fact that when we succeed, ultimately, we're going to do it together. Everyone in this room has an interest in addressing workforce development. Everyone in this room has an interest in addressing growth. Everyone in this room has an interest in making sure that Maine has a 21st century workforce that continues to grow and continues to attract young people and continues to keep young people in our state. WEX and this development is a big part of that. And that's why I'm so excited to be here today. Again, it is an honor to be invited. It is a very exciting day for us in the city. And I want to thank Mike again for the introduction, and thank you all for hosting us today.
To lower it. So now I get to introduce Jonathan Cohen. So Jonathan Cohen was born in Portland, Maine. His family has been committed to this community since 1946, when his grandfather, Sam, started Portland Glass. His father, Gene Cohen, not only grew Portland Glass, but also was heavily involved in many different community programs and charities. It's that sense of connection that keeps Jonathan motivated to help Portland, whether it's opening a nightclub, which he did in the 90s, redeveloping a burned-out building on 4th Street, redeveloping 27 lost condos on Exchange Street, the heart of the old port, or now helping to develop and build the India Street area. Jonathan has always been committed to the projects that provide opportunity for Portland to grow. And there's two things that I've heard from Jonathan as we've talked. The first one is it was really important to him as we did this to show people that you can do this, that you can actually grow business and develop in the city of Portland. And he was very focused on doing this on time. And the second thing he has often reminded us of is the construction work. All of the work that happened here to build this project was economic development. It provided jobs for people in that process. And so with that, I would like to welcome up Jonathan Cohen.
Well, thank you very much. As I said, in October of 17, I think it was, when we actually did the groundbreaking, I don't normally speak in public. It's not my thing, so bear with me. I'll do the best I can. Good morning. I'd like to thank everybody for coming today. I'd like to really thank WEX. There's a lot of different people, so this is just going to be sort of a quick laundry list. I'd really like to thank Safet Kobaj. So he is the VP of WEX Global Real Estate. He's been a pleasure to work with, and really all the different pieces that we had to put together for this whole project to actually come into existence are because Safet and I could work together so well. Everybody else that worked with us through the process was great, but if we didn't have that ability to focus on getting a task accomplished, it would have been exceptionally challenging, because this is obviously a very large building in a very complex environment. So thank you again, Safet. I'd like to thank Melissa. I'd like to thank the Board of WEX. I would like to very much thank David Brederman and the Economic Development Board of Portland, John Jennings, Greg Mitchell, Tuck O'Brien, the City Council, all the city departments that were involved in the permitting. We had our brokers, which were Tom Moulton and Charlie Craig of the Dunham Group. We had our architects, which was Archetype for the exterior. SMRT did the interior. Maine-based companies, I'd like to point out. Our construction manager was Chinbro, another very large, successful Maine-based company, so again, thank you. And all the different subcontractors that worked on this project. As was mentioned a couple minutes ago, my family started Portland Glass. When we sold that company, I retained the commercial glass division, which is called Architectural Doors and Windows. Maine-based company. We worked very hard. We've been around for a very long time. It's nice to have a building in town that shows what we actually do. We've done it in Massachusetts, everywhere else. So when you look at this building, as I said, in October 17, and you wonder why there's really nothing here but glass and metal. Guilty. So, and I'll make no apology for it. I'll say thank you. And so do the 50 people that work for me, their families say thank you. And just some information on this building. So a lot of people, as was mentioned, economic development. I look at construction as economic development. It's what I really love to do. Played with Legos, never stopped. So, you know, on our busiest day, we had over 150 skilled tradesmen working on site. That doesn't include everybody who was ancillary to them. So all told, this project had a reach that exceeded over 1,000 people. That means families, that means businesses, that means restaurants that fed all these people that really worked here. That means the architects, the engineers, the construction managers, the site workers, the steel, the concrete, the glass, and all the interior trades. So we'd like to thank them all for their skilled work and the excellent product that you see here today. And I'd like to also point out, they're all Maine-based. So again, it's what Maine people can do. And as I said at the ribbon cutting, you know, my family's been here for a long time. My father always stressed the values of people, community, education, opportunity. When I grew up, I went to Deering High School, and I saw a tremendous amount of my friends that all did as I did. We graduated, we went to college out of state. I was fortunate because when I came back, I knew I had opportunity. But most of them did not come back because these opportunities didn't exist. And so one of the things that I care most about and why I really wanted to get involved is I really believe in creating jobs. And jobs that create good opportunities to allow Maine people to stay here, people that left Maine move back here, or people who want to come and live here to be able to come and live here and have jobs and opportunities. And so I thank WEX for your commitment and your success, and hopefully a lot more. And I'm jumping all around. Oh, I also said I hope that we would create more opportunities. So one of the other things I'd like to point out now is since WEX is now here, and again, thank you to the city for helping all of us make it possible, we now have Covitris, formerly Vets First Choice. They've now located their headquarters. It's going to be 100 yards from here, which is really exciting. And in that same process, they're going to create a lot more jobs, which are more opportunities for everybody in southern Maine. And we are waiting, hopefully in the near future, for all that beautiful city staff that's here today, to get a permit for a project we're going to do again at 100 4th Street, which is formerly the Hamilton Marine Building, where we're going to build 539 car parking garage and 84,000 square feet of office space. And I guess I'm letting the cat out of the bag, but I don't think it's a big secret. WEX is taking that 84,000 square feet, increasing their commitment to Portland. So again, thank you to WEX. Just a couple more things. You know, I loved Field of Dreams when I was a kid. Great movie. If you build it, they will come. In addition to the fact that we have leased the other space, there were other companies that wanted to be in this area. They love what's going on in Portland. They love the opportunities of Portland. But we need to find opportunities for them. So that means we need the opportunity to build more product. We need the opportunity to find bigger space. So it's exciting times. Growing up in Portland, I've seen it all. So it's much nicer to see it where we are right now. And I'd like to just once more, I'd like to just again thank Soffit, you know, for working with him and getting this building done today. So again, thank you, and I'd like to turn it back over to Melissa.
So Jonathan mentioned Soffit a couple times. Soffit actually is joining us on our President's Club trip in Hawaii as a host for all of the efforts that he has done and continues to do across the world. So again, thank you to you. And thank you, I know that we missed, I'm sure, people here today. If you were involved in this, thank you. If you're part of the community and you showed up to celebrate with us, I greatly appreciate that. And it's part of what I love about Maine. We actually all do come together, and this is a tribute to that. So thank you for coming out. We're excited to show you the building. And so what we're going to do next, we're going to do the ribbon cutting and some photographs. But if you're interested in doing a tour, then there are going to be tours going up. So you just want to meet in a few minutes out by the elevators. So thank you. Have a great day. And what a great day it is.